Good morning, everybody. It's Brooke with Mrs. Coghill Farm and her squawking chickens. They have been non-stop since I walked in the barn this morning. That is the 3 Silkies and Miss Snow White, our peacock. They can't wait to go outside today. I'm going to see if the pigs are finished with their breakfast, and we will get them outside. They just cannot wait. All right, y'all need to go back and get Snow White. She doesn't realize y'all came out. They have thoroughly enjoyed the warmer weather. So have I. Here in Alabama, we've had spring temperatures for going on a couple of 3 weeks now. And it sure has been nice. Chickens are enjoying going outside and opening the stall door. And then we let them back inside in the evening. And some nights it gets cool, but for the most part, it's been warm enough to not even turn on Snow White's light. I don't think she realizes that her friends even left her. Hey, girl. They went outside. Yeah, they went outside. Snow White has not laid an egg this season, which I was kind of expecting her to already, but time will come, right, Bramble? Y'all know Bramble's got to follow me wherever I go. I've already got my egg basket in my hand because I'm planning on headed over to the chickens and see what kind of egg numbers we have this morning. I wanted to see if she needed some help finding the door first. They went that way, baby. She'll figure it out. Dee Dee says she's ready to go to work this morning. You gonna lead the way, girl? Which way do we need to go now? Huh? You don't care as long as we get to do something, right? Silly little girl. Feeling good this morning? Come on. Come on. So, when y'all are watching this video this morning, the time will have changed. And I tell you, I'm ready for some longer daylight hours. Every year, I just question the reason for daylight savings time. I know at one point in time, it was beneficial. I just wish we could get to one time and keep it that way instead of this spring forward, spring back stuff. Kids lose that hour. I mean, adults do too, but children, I feel like, need that consistent time not to change. And they're going to lose an hour of sleep this weekend, Monday. Everybody's going to wake up groggy and on the wrong side of the bed probably. I just wish it would stay that way. Headed into the chicken coop area where the bus is. I say bus. It's really not a bus anymore, but I wanted y'all to see how high our grass is, and I need to get it cut. We've got some rain coming in tomorrow and Monday, but I tell you, everything has greened up and grown tremendously this past week. Look at it over here. I mean, growing. Good morning, everybody. Everybody got to meet me at the gate. Come on. Don't have to tell y'all twice, do I? My goodness gracious. I brought back one of the baskets that I like the best because I had it at the barn and it looks like it might be overfilled this morning. Y'all are doing a wonderful job. And I lost count. 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 18. Hang on, girl. 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, I know, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 43 eggs this morning, ladies. Hang on, girl. 43. Well, it's okay. I gotta get you the door back there. You too. Move your door for you. Just like that. Well, I missed her. My camera missed her, but as soon as I let that back down, She got in. And then you can see the barred rock that was waiting her turn. She got in. Look at them. Y'all are lined up this morning. What a beautiful basket of eggs. I am very proud of y'all. Talking about the grass growing. I just harvested the calendula in the last video because there were a whole lot of blooms on it. And now, oh my goodness, it's probably twice the amount of blooms that I had on it in the last video. It looks like most of it's down here towards the end. Look here, y'all. Isn't it beautiful? Blooms, blooms, blooms everywhere. We're getting close to having a freeze dryer full, and that means that I'll get that batch going, get it over to Miss Laura, and we will hopefully have some calendula salve this year. We work a year in advance, and we had enough for a batch of carrot and calendula soap, which we sold out of, thanks to y'all. And we had some lotion, which Laura's already started on a second batch with the leftover calendula oil. And we hope if we have enough flowers this year to offer a salve again, because a lot of y'all loved that in the past. And of course, Miss Laura is just doing what she loves. Headed back home with Dee Dee leading the way, and 3 dogs over here playing in the compost pile. Y'all, do you know that you're not really supposed to be doing that? But it'll be okay. You're at least having fun, right? Holly, I know your daddy's not far behind. Poor Rocky on the bottom. Dogs have the zoomies. I'm headed home. Mary Carl has spend the night company, and they've got things they want to do, so I told them I'd cook them a good breakfast before they head out this morning. So I'm walking back home with my basket full of eggs, and if they eat all these eggs, we're in trouble. They're growing teenage girls, but goodness gracious. I wanted to kind of share with y'all one of our visions that we have for the farm. And of course, fixing the pond will come hopefully first. But this area all along the front here is the front of the horse pasture. And this was pastures that were separated initially. We tore the fences down that separated it, and the horses are over there as well as on the back side. But since the animals are moved and that fence is in need of repair, here's my dream, and it may or may not happen. When Mr. Greg came, we didn't know initially if we would be able to bring the road from up where the drive is, or if we would have to come from right here. You can see our little pathway that we take sometimes coming this way, runs in front of the fences and goes all the way around. And we had a second option that we didn't know if Mr. Greg could do or not. So once we figured out that the second option was the road that required the least amount of work, meaning shorter distance, then we just automatically agreed that that would be the path that we would take to get to the barn or the shop. So that leaves me with this idea that I've wanted to do for so long. This road goes to the house, and of course there has to be a drainage ditch, and it curves all the way around. My idea is to take the fence that is far over there, move it over here, follow the curve, probably on the inside of the ditch, meaning not out here right by the road, but on the other side of the ditch, and do a split rail fence, just like we did in front of where the horses are now. That was our plan, is if we built more fence, we were going to make it a pretty fence. And that way it would add attraction to the look of the property. Of course, things would be the same on this side, but if we ever redo it, we could do it in split rail too. And then we could plant trees on the outer part, maybe crepe myrtles, something very simple, I would say, to line the driveway and turn this curve. That's going to be the only issue. I know you can turn a split rail fence, but we will have to watch some videos and try to figure that out a little bit better as time goes on. But you know, I like to share with y'all our vision and how we see things come together in our future, and that's one of the big things that's on my list, since we now know that the road to the shop will come this direction. So this is where the carport starts, where the concrete is, and this is the path that Mr. Greg will take, which you can see there's no grass growing here because we take this path a lot. My question was, could he go up that hill and not cause a big drainage issue when he takes it down some? And he said he thought that it would be absolutely fine because everything is sloping towards the pond anyway. So that is the new plan. Rocky is fixing to get his brother. Goodness, they are so rough. So rough. Well, I got the girls breakfast and they have eaten and already taken off from the farm. Oh, the joys of being 16. I tell you, I remember those days like it was yesterday, and then I have to pinch myself, and that was, Brooke, that was 34 years ago. How long has it been since you were 16? And what were the memories that you have of those wonderful days of venturing out by yourself for the first time? I tell you, time just goes like that. And that's the way Mary Carl will feel. In 34 years, she'll say, I was just 16. I am walking over to an area where I have been diligently working to get something completed. Mr. Greg came and he said that he could build the road through this way, which comes over to the shop barn, because it houses horse feed as well. And there's been a problem here on the farm since we moved, and that is the old road that goes down to the barn. Now, Mr. Greg has looked at this before, and that's the reason he put in this big ditch that we put in. It's because water was coming off of the terrace here down the fruit orchard and literally blowing out the old road. This is not where the old road bed was, not where you can see the little bit of gravel here. Initially, the old road bed was over here, and it went just about like this. So as time has gone on and the road has washed out, we moved the road closer to the fruit orchard because we literally couldn't get through it. It was creating so many indentions and washout spots. And I don't know if Jason has any footage of this area before, but this bank has probably been brought down, I don't know, 3 foot probably. So when Mr. Greg came, I said, if you got a minute, I want you to look at something. I wanted to fix it myself. I did not want Mr. Greg to do it if it was something I could do myself. So Mr. Greg walked over here with me, and I showed him what was going on. And he did agree that since the shop's been built, or the shabarn has been built, there's more water coming down this road. So here recently, we've seen more of a problem with water than we ever have in the past. Well, he said, you get that skid steer and you start sloping everything down, because we had a area over here on the side that started about right where I'm standing. And I'm just going to angle the camera down. This humped up higher than everything else. So there was no way for the water to escape sideways without using the road, which was the lowest point. He told me if I had any problem, when he comes to build the road, he'll work on it. He thought I could do it. So I started, and it took me three days with several hours involved every day. And I just would take some off, and I would take that old dirt that I took off and move it back up here where it needed to be filled in, where it had washed out in the past, filled in holes, made the road the highest point, and did just what Mr. Greg told me to do. Make this your lowest point. Make the whole bank your lowest point. And then come back from that lowest point and make you some turnouts. And I did. The first one is right here. I don't know if, let's see. I don't know if y'all can see it on camera or not, but turnout meaning make it lower and make the water go that direction. It's going to take the lowest path, but if you have an opportunity for it to have somewhere to go, it will ease the areas that are washed out because you got to have a place for that water to go. So my second one is right here. That's a turnout. And then it's so forth and so on down the road to where I have 5 total places for the water to turn out, except for water's going to take its own path. So I've got another big job on my hands, and I told y'all that we had some rain coming. Mr. Greg also said he wants me to get this covered up with the seed, and he wants to put some old hay on top of it to keep it from washing. And that's what we're going to do. We are going to try to get this done before the big rain comes in and not wash our seed away, and allow something to grab hold of this dirt that's here, root itself in where it won't have the opportunity to just wash away. Hey, Rocky, where you going, buddy? You look like you on a mission. Are you on a mission? You didn't know I was over here, did you? Yeah, sweet baby. I can't tell y'all what a good thing Bobby C has been for us here at the farm. I don't know how we made it before, because I couldn't have dug down and got the dirt out from these compacted areas with Big O like I did with Bobby C. I was just able to just blade it down and get the dirt out of here and get it moved. And that piece of equipment really did the job, and I just am so thankful to have it. I think if it went kaput tomorrow, we would just have to think about investing in another one, because it is an old piece of machinery, and right now it's doing its thing. I had a hiccup when I was doing the clearing. I had a little hiccup. That was this bank. I had recently cleaned all the stumps and the sticks and everything that was over here. I'd made sure all of it was cleared out, and the only thing that was in this whole entire area, I ran over it and got Bobby C stuck on it. And I'll show y'all what that was. Long time ago, when we were first moving over here, we had a guy that was doing some work here, and he saw this stump, which some people call it fat lighter, which is a piece of old pine. It's used to start fires easier. It's very ignitive and not explosive, but it will allow you to light a fire faster. And y'all probably know what kindling is. So that's a big piece of fat lighter, and it was sitting on the ground where he had intended to take it with him, but he couldn't get it all the way sawed off so he could take it with him. Well, I backed Bobby C right over it, and you can see where the actual bottom of Bobby C was sitting. The tracks on one side was elevated up in the air, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I did my best to get Bobby C unstuck, and I don't particularly have in my mind that Bobby C can get stuck unless I take it somewhere wet. Well, I had to stop, and I had to go tell Jason that I was stuck. He kind of expected it, but he didn't expect me to be stuck on a log. And so he didn't say anything, but we came outside, and he didn't know how we were going to get it unstuck. I said, well, how about we take a big 6x6, the sawed off piece that we've been using the poles in the back to create the backyard garden area, put it under the tracks, and then I try to lift it up because the track was already elevated just in the air from being on the top of this stump. So he took my advice, and we set Bobby C down on that 6x6, actually 2 of them, And when I did, I got enough traction to be able to use the bucket and work my way out, as it elevated Bobby C enough to get off of this stump. I couldn't elevate it enough with the track not being on the ground. And luckily, it was a pretty easy way out, but it could have not been. I'm just thankful for, well, I watched a YouTube video to figure out how to get the track back onto ground, and we just happen to have some 6x6s. So things worked out for me. All the while, Rocky back here is digging in the mulch pile, trying to find him a cool spot. It's warm here in Alabama, isn't it, Rocky? But yep, big things are happening here at Cog Hill Farm, and I wanted to get this job complete in case I needed Mr. Greg's help when he comes, and that could be at any time. He told us within a couple of weeks, and we're approaching the second week that he said a couple of weeks. So I think I got it pretty sloped downhill. Jason actually took a level over and looked at it and made sure everything was flowing downward, and I just hope that this will keep that water from washing that old road out. We don't need it to be perfect, but we do need to be able to drive down. I mean, our bees are down here. We need to be able to get to the old barn. We need to be able to get to our implements. So that road is not very well traveled, but needed. So, y'all, I've had a good time the past few days doing what I love to do, and that is work on equipment. Not work on equipment, do work with equipment. And thankful I was able to get the job completed, and let's hope, fingers crossed, that everything goes well and we can find some seed. I've got to make a call to Mr. Greg. He suggested I seed it, but my question is, all right, we're not done with cold weather probably. If I plant a warm season grass right now, it's not going to germinate because the temperature on the ground is not warm enough. We need some warm overnight temperatures in order for that seed to germinate. Well, ryegrass needs cool temperatures. So I might not have much time that I can use that ryegrass, but I want to ask Mr. Greg what he suggests. And once I get that answer from him, then we can start the next stage of planning, and that is getting that ground covered so it will not wash out. So we try to just film what we do on a daily basis here. Sometimes it's interesting, sometimes not so much, but that's had me rather consumed. So I just want to say I hope that every one of you enjoyed this video, and I'm not going to get anything stuck today. I'm not going to do it, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Until next time, y'all be good.